Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You got your boys here, Lanny Burt, the Dividend Diplomats. Today, we are talking to all of you about a Dividend King that is falling. And this yield is reaching levels it hasn't hit in a long time. So buckle up. Let's talk about this Dividend King with a great dividend growth rate and a yield over a great milestone right now.
Smash that subscribe button for your dividend broskies here. Give this video a nice thumbs up, guys. Thank you for rocking with us here on this channel. We're on the journey to 18,000. We only need about 150-ish more subscribers. So guys, let's get there in this video. Also, if this video crosses, again, the illustrious 400 likes on this Saturday video here, we will give out some more Dividend Diplomat swag. So how to enter here is you like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment if you own or are about to buy this dividend stock that we're going to talk about on this video.
Love it. I'm so excited to talk about this stock that my mustache just flew right off and it's out of here. So we can't wait. Let's rip the mustache off. Let's talk about it. We're going to talk about Pepsi, ticker symbol PEP. We are recording this video on October 5th, the evening, so after Thursday. And what happened today? This stock dropped over 5% today. And we're going to look at the stock. We're going to run them through this screener. We're going to see what some of the news was. And we're going to see, should you just be ignoring the noise and considering this Dividend King that's a top 5 foundation stock for your portfolio?
Yes, guys, Pepsi is on the table now. Consumer stocks are actually getting hit right now, especially on October 5th. Hopefully, they continue to get hit on October 6th. Why? Because for dividend investors, that means buying more income for less. That is what it's all about. And Pepsi is a newly minted Dividend King, 51 years now, I think, for Pepsi. Crown them LeBron style. And man, Bert, they did cross an illustrious dividend metric that we talk about all the time on this channel, and they are getting quite appetizing right now.
They are. So as we said, the stock dropped 5% on Thursday, October 5th. So we did a search while we were researching this video. What was the negative news that caused the stock to fall? And there were 2 stories here. Looks like Pepsi's getting ahead of their earnings release that's going to be coming later in the month. They're already setting expectations that sales are going to be soft. People are moving from their brands to the private label because of inflation, because of how much
RC Cola
right now. Yeah. RC Cola. I mean, I will say this. If there's one area where you can really notice the difference between the brands and the off brands, it's in the soda beverage, like the sector. Like it just doesn't taste the same. I will argue, and that's why we love Coke and Pepsi. So that was news story number 1. News story number 2. This was the only other negative thing I could really find. And it made me laugh. It's so ridiculous of a negative headline that we just have to say it. Burger King is looking to replace replace Pepsi with Coca-Cola in India. Those are your 2 negative news stories that are causing Pepsi to fall.
And the beauty why Pepsi is now in our top 5 foundation stocks, guys, for your portfolio. Catch our 10,000 subscriber video if you want to truly see a mustache literally fly off at the end of that video. Check the link out during this video to watch that. You guys will love it. But there's a reason why a lot of us dividend investors, Bert included, myself included, in our individual stock portfolios, why a lot of people choose Pepsi over Coke. Is no knock on Coke, but there's just a lot more to say and talk about regarding Pepsi. Because Bert, what is the greatest thing about Pepsi stock here?
Their brands. It's all about the brand portfolio. And it's always one of the cool facts that you see when you research Pepsi, and you always forget it, but then you see it and you're like, yes, that's why we love Pepsi. They have 22 brands that are billion-dollar brands. That's 22 brands that are billion-dollar brands. That portfolio isn't just the beverages. Let's start with those though. Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Gatorade, Bubbly, Starry, Tropicana, Aquafina, Starbucks ready to go drinks, all those containers. Those are Pepsi's drinks, but Lanny, they're not just soft drinks, right?
Not just soft drinks, and that's why dividend investors flock to Pepsi. because of the safe haven of their snack brand. Have you guys heard of the Frito-Lay company?
No, kidding. No.
Mhm.
Hmm. All
So
right.
Fritos, Doritos, your wavy Lays, Tostitos, you name it, insert every Eatos at the end of a chip, guys. Sabra hummus. They also have rolled goat pretzels, and you better believe the oatmeal loving guy over here with Quaker Oats. They also have the Quaker brand under their umbrella.
So like those brands, they generate massive revenue. That's why we love Pepsi. Before we run them through our screener, let's just take a quick look here. Let's just see some of the balance sheet metrics here before we go through to determine if they're undervalued. We've been focused a lot on the balance sheet, and it's been something that continues to come into light as interest rates rise. It's always good to take a pulse check here. Their long-term debt, one of the more fascinating things with Pepsi, is their debt is actually increasing. At Q4 2022, they had 39.1 billion of total debt. Q2 23, it's 43.2 billion. So debt has actually gone up for Pepsi, $4.1 billion.
A lot of debt, huh?
It is. Their debt to equity ratio is 2.4x. So it's not the lowest. They're a little levered here with Pepsi. That's what we can say.
They're a little levered on the chips here. So, guys, that's the debt. Obviously, it's important right now because of the high interest rate environment and how liquid and fluid can Pepsi move and navigate the current environment. Obviously, I think we both would agree that the debt to equity is not bad. Obviously, seeing more, you know, long-term debt added is probably not great because of the rate that they probably got. Um, but I think the current ratio is probably the biggest one. That's like,
Yeah. So we always look at the current ratio, current assets divided by current liabilities to see are they liquid? Can their short-term assets cover their short-term liabilities? Current ratio, we like to see over 1 because that means the assets cover the liabilities. Their current ratio is 0.84x, so it is below 1x. And what about that quick ratio, Lanny?
the quick ratio is at 0.64, so above kind of the 0.5, not too far away from the current. It's okay.
Yeah.
Not great, not terrible, but
Yeah. So what are we going to do now? We're going to run them through our stock screener, which focuses on 3 metrics: PE ratio, payout ratio, history of increasing dividends. Oh yeah, there's that bonus metric, the dividend yield. Lanny, can you kick this sucker off by talking about Pepsi's PE?
guys, they're expecting earnings of $8, so trading at 160. You already know that that's a pretty simple math equation, trading at just about 20 times forward earnings, guys, just under a 19.86. Pretty, I'll say this. What's the most accurate way to say it? Lower than what they currently trade at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I think that's fair. Let's look at that payout ratio. Annual dividends, $5.06. That gives you a payout ratio of 62.78%. So just a smidge above our 60% threshold that we'd love to see in our stock screener.
Now, as Bert and I both indicated, they're a Dividend King, 51 years of dividend growth, guys. Now, it's funny, they actually knocked it out of the park with the increase in 2023, literally knocked it out. And let's actually talk about the last 2 increases. 2021 to 2022 was 7.5 cents on a dollar 7.5. So if you do the math on that, that increase last year was about 7%.
Mhm.
They went from a dollar 15 to a dollar 26.5 cents. So doing the math on that, 1,265. Everybody's probably busting out their calculators right now. Wow, that was 10%.
Everybody,
So
everybody.
yeah, 10%, you
Wow.
know,
Wow.
10% increase this year. So growth rate has been improving. Obviously,
Mhm.
can they keep that up? Do we actually see like a 3 to 5% in 2024?
Mhm.
I mean, I would say it's probably more that direction, but you just never really know, I guess, with Pepsi right now, just because they've been able to do it. Their 5 year growth rate is 7%.
Yeah. Remember, a lot can change. A lot can change before that dividend increase. A lot of things can happen. Not off the table. That's where their history is. You've indicated it. It's very strong. So now let's talk about that dividend yield. What's the big threshold that it crossed? It crossed not 1%, not 2%. The dividend yield is 3.0 6% for Pepsi. And that is why we are looking so closely at Pepsi. They finally crossed
Well,
a 3% yield.
I think Pepsi's going to have to take a chapter out of Stone Cold because Pepsi 316 says, I just kicked you.
Yes, I love it. So let's summarize it here. PE 1986, payout 63%. Dividend King, 5-year growth rate of 6.81% with a yield of 3.16%. Lanny, what are your thoughts on Pepsi right now?
Watching Pepsi hard right now. Only reason is you'll have to stay tuned to Sunday's episode because their competitor also kind of is following the same suit. So things are really looking appetizing here for dividend investors. Again, really watching them hard. Another $10 drop in share price is probably that's a lot to ask for. Um, but getting
But
them around that $150 price point is probably kind of what I'm
I
really
agree.
looking at.
I very much agree. I'm watching them and I'm staring at 150 for Pepsi and their competitor as well. So everybody, let us know what you think about Pepsi in that comment section below. What are your thoughts on this Dividend King? If you don't like them or you like Coke better, please share your opinion down there.
Guys, 400 likes, comment, subscribe. Do you own Pepsi stock? Is this a stock to buy right now at the current dividend metric levels? Again, guys, keep saving and keep investing. Let's get to that financial freedom that Bert and I keep talking about by buying dividend stocks, baby.
And remember, if you're not with us, you're against us. Jack.
That was Bert, the Hurt, and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.